Is your puppy ready? Or are you about to make a huge puppy training mistake? We all know the value of crate training as a tool to keep our dogs safe and to avoid some common puppy training mistakes, as well as to allow us to be there to give our dogs good information. But when is our puppy ready for a little bit more freedom? Is your puppy ready for a little bit more independence in your home? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some puppy crate training tips that will allow you to know whether your puppy is ready for you to stop using their crate. I'm Ken Steep, and welcome back to McCann Dogs. Here at McCann Dogs, we've helped more than 90,000 dog owners who are just like you to overcome their dog training challenges. So if this is your first time on our YouTube channel, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so that I can help you to have a well-behaved four-legged family member. Now, it's sort of interesting because this is a pretty common question from people who are just beginning their puppy crate training. But for people who have a puppy or a dog that's quite comfortable in their crate and likes going in their crate, there's less of a sense of urgency about removing the crate from the picture. But if you're at the point right now where you're just starting to teach your puppy that their crate is a safe and relaxing place to be, then I've linked a video in the description below that you should definitely check out, and there's a few exercises in there that will really help your puppy be excited about their crate and love to go in their crate. But if you have reached the point where you're wondering if your puppy should have a little bit more freedom from their crate, there's a couple of really important considerations that you need to take into account. Let's talk about the how. This isn't an all or nothing process. You want to make sure that you're setting your puppy up in an area or a location that's maybe a little bit puppy proof. The last thing you'd want to do is introduce them to an environment where they can make all sorts of bad choices. So spend a little bit of time puppy proofing this area so that your puppy is much less likely to make some mistakes. You can set up a room in your home, pick up anything that your puppy might chew on, even leave them with something that they are allowed to chew on. Maybe they've got a favorite chew toy. That's a great pastime for your puppy, but don't immediately allow them complete free roam of your entire home. It's really important you can use something like baby gates or chairs or some way to set up some barriers so that your puppy doesn't go from inside their crate to having complete free run of the house. Another mistake that people will make is that they cross their fingers and hope for the best. So they'll give their puppy this freedom and then they'll head off to work for several hours. We really want our puppies to be slowly introduced to this newfound independence. So a great way to do that is to allow your puppy the freedom in this puppy-proofed area, and then go outside for a couple of minutes, or maybe you can head upstairs and then you can return. It's so important that our puppy starts to understand that they are free to make some choices, and they never really know when you're going to reappear. This is also a great way for you to show up and interrupt any behaviors, any bad choices that they may have made, but you are giving them that short opportunity to choose. Keep in mind, this is going to be a dynamic process, so avoid the temptation of packing your crate away or selling it on eBay when your puppy is transitioning away from it. Leave the crate in place and leave them some access to it, even in this new puppy-proofed environment. Something that people often mention to us is if there's a thunderstorm that rolls in, their puppy or their young dog will often go to their crate because it's a safe and comfortable place to be. So don't be in a big rush to remove that crate from the environment, even when you feel like your puppy has successfully moved away from using it every single night. If your puppy still has the occasional accident where they sneak away into another room and leave you a little yellow puddle, then now is not the time to be giving them more opportunities to have that kind of freedom. You know, you need to be a great leader for your dog, and your crate is still going to be a really good way to manage them so that when they do come out of their crate, you're able to watch them, you're able to give them great information. So if you're having house training issues, then hold off on giving your puppy a little bit more freedom at this point. If you can't remember the last time your puppy had an accident in your home, or it's the last time that they chewed on something, then your puppy may be ready for a little bit more independence. But those aren't the only factors. There's actually something that's even more important. The most important factor you need to consider is, does your dog listen to you currently when they have freedom in your home? One of the best things about using a crate with your dog is that every time they come out, at this point, you're there to engage with them. You're there to play with them. They see you as someone of great value because you're so much fun. You're there to give them good information. You're there to tell them when they're making a mistake. These are all great ways to set your dog up to see you as a leader. And these are the most important things when you're considering giving your puppy more freedom to make their own choices. If your puppy isn't listening to you currently, that's a great reason to continue using their crate. It allows you to set up more structured training. It allows you to give them better guidance. We really want to be able to show our puppies how to be right and not have to constantly tell them what they're doing wrong. Using your crate is so important to set up those situations. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video for you today is I remember this point in my training with my first dog. She really struggled with jumping up on people, and it was at a point when I started to transition her away from using the crate. What I really quickly learned was that when someone would come in my house, she was so excited, she couldn't help herself. I'd always have to quickly put on a leash or a house line. At that time, we didn't have cell phones, so people couldn't text ahead when they were going to show up. But what I found was that by putting her in the crate, just for those moments, she had all sorts of freedom other than when people came into our home. I'd put her in the crate until the excitement died down a little bit. At that point, I could let her back out of the crate, I could put her house line on, and we could focus on teaching her that it was much more rewarding to keep all four paws on the floor. But without the crate, I really struggled to manage her. I really struggled to set her up to be right. So I was constantly trying to fix her and teach her that she wasn't allowed to jump up. It wasn't a good training scenario for either of us. So keeping that crate available was really, really helpful to overcome that. And you may encounter some really tough training challenges. Maybe it's barking or jumping up or whatever the thing may be, where putting your dog in their crate with something to chew on, having them just go and relax and hang out is the best solution. It's the best way to give them good information. I don't want you to look at this as a reactive step to addressing some of these behaviors. This is a proactive step. You're setting yourself up and you're setting your dog up to make better decisions, to be able to give them good information. It's a really important differentiation that you need to make. It's one of the things that any good dog trainer would understand, is that training is a fluid process, and using a management tool like a crate is the best way to be clear, consistent, and fair for your dog. It's the best way to continue having a motivated dog who loves to listen. If you're looking for more puppy crate training tips, then make sure you click that card right there. That's our puppy crate training playlist, and it's going to show you several different exercises that you can do with your puppy to teach them to be relaxed, happy, and comfortable in their crate. On that note, I'm Ken. Happy training.